I released my first game. How much money did it make? 0. It just cost me money. Was it worth it? Absolutely, because you don't make your first game for money. Why is it so important then? After finishing the development, you are a game developer. You really made a game. It isn't just a dream anymore. You can talk about it, you can be proud and show off. If you put some time into the development and you really cared about the project, you most probably made something special. And people will enjoy it. Your friends will play the game if you ask them to, and they will only praise the fun of it most of the time. This everything is going to add up to build your confidence. Very important if you want to keep developing games. And it's also going to serve as a reward to you. During the development, which took me more than 2 years, I got virtually no to very little psychological rewards. But the wave of joy and feelings of success after the release was so much worth it. And I learned so many things. Let's begin with the technical skills. I got much better at programming. Naturally, I'm not a C# expert now, but I feel that I truly understand the language. 2 years of this intense practice made me do less mistakes and become faster. I also improved my code structure, but it's a process of learning by making mistakes. Unforgiving and endless. Get ready for it. Then there is the engine. The first time I opened the Unity engine editor, I had no idea what I was looking at. And even after watching tutorials and experimenting a lot, I didn't understand the editor window. Now it's different. Experience is irreplaceable. However, that was the easier part. It's intuitive. But there are things like frame rate, aspect ratio, compression, render pipeline, art importing, asset size, optimization, blah blah blah. Very difficult to understand, at least for me. But now I know how to handle these things, and you will need it for every major game project. Then there are the non-technical skills. As you produce your game, you must learn to make compromises. The most important compromise you can learn, in my opinion, is to spare your time. You can't put everything in the game, it will never be perfect. And there might be a deadline. Go save your time. And last but not least, there is design. I found out that coming up with ideas is not that hard. If you have a general premise of your game and are at least somehow creative, you'll find your way around simply with a lot of crazy stuff. The thing I expected to be really easy, which turned out to be really difficult, was level design. You can just smash different pieces of environmental structures together, but it's not going to work if you want to create something sensible. You should make sketches and plan the game layout. If you don't, the players most probably will get lost in your game. Level design is tightly tied to the learning curve of your game's mechanics. Randomly slapping things together will make you be good at your own game because you play it again and again, but the new player will be absolutely confused and won't enjoy the experience. Are the players going to enjoy your game? Well, find out. Do a lot of playtesting and do it early on. Don't let the people play your game just to approve it, but actively search for mistakes you've made in the design and remake the game accordingly. It will improve the experience a lot. Trust me. Here is an example. When I made my first game, I thought it was easy to play. But I unintentionally created something worse than a difficult piece. A hard, unfair, unforgiving, and inconsistent experience. If the players weren't so committed, only few would play the game and almost nobody would get to its end. What was the impact of my first game on my second game's development? First of all, I was confident. I knew I had done this before and was self-assured about my skills. I just knew it was possible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Second of all, I knew what everything had to be done. The planning got easier and I came up with a good development structure which I held to, making the whole process much easier. Third of all, the development was incredibly fast compared to the first game. The first one took me 2 years, while the second one took me 1 week. The games were kinda similar, so it's at least somehow comparable. And finally, the second game was much better in almost every way possible. Better game design, more efficient testing, better level design, better looking art, blah blah blah, you know. So, what's the morale of this story? Go, make your first game and finish its development. It's worth it.